Alright guys, let's take a look. We're going to keep adding more and more to these equations. Now we're solving equations with parentheses, meaning we have to use a distributive property. So, remember, an equation is two expressions separated by an equal sign. In this case, we have 2 times s minus 1. Just focus on that part there. If we wanted to solve this, we could make that subtraction and add the opposite. And then our second step was to distribute. So let's distribute this 2 in. 2 times s is 2s, plus sign comes down. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And now that equals 6. So the where I got that from was what we learned when we first were studying simplifying expressions. We said first step, if you have a negative, you might want to add the opposite. That's going to limit you from forgetting to carry it through. Step 2 was to distribute. This is for simplifying expressions. And then step 3 was to combine like terms. Well, I think we're good to go. So we did those. And then 6 is all by itself, so there's nothing to work on over there. Now we have a 2-step problem like we just learned. We want to get s by itself, so I do get rid of this negative 2 by adding 2 to both sides. Those cancel, and I get 2s equals 8. 2 times s, so I do the opposite and divide. S then equals 4. And we want to check it by substituting it back in, but we're good. All right, so letter B. Again, it's an expression. We want to focus on simplifying each side of the equal sign. First, no subtraction signs to change to add the opposite. Second is to distribute, which we do have. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Plus sign comes down, negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Equals 16 because there's nothing to simplify here. I want to get x by itself, so I add 14 to both sides. Those cancel, negative 2x comes down, and I get 30. These are being multiplied, so I divide x equals negative 15. All right, let's try some more. I'm going to make that add the opposite. I'm just going to go through these ones quickly. You can kind of watch. 2 times 11 is 22, plus 2 times negative 4 is negative 8x, equals 38. I'm going to subtract 22 on both sides. So that goes away, and my negative 8x comes down, and over here I'm going to get 16. These are being multiplied, so I divide, and I get x equals negative 2. Over here, add the opposite. The second step is to distribute, so you get negative 3x plus negative 3 times negative 7 is positive 21. Then I'm going to subtract 21 because I want to get x by itself. These cancel, negative 3x comes down, and I have 30. These are being multiplied, so I divide, and I get x equals negative 10. Okay? Moving on. Combining like terms after distributing. This is 3n minus 40 plus 2n. So we don't have any distributing here, but we do have like terms. And again, this is just an expression. So I'm going to combine 3n and 2n and get 5n plus negative 40 equals 15. And now I can just solve it like we've been practicing. 5n equals 55, divide by 5, n equals 11. In this one, we're going to avoid the 13 equals part right now. We're only focusing right here. So I have 2y minus 3 times y plus 4. I'm going to add the opposite first. Second, I distribute. So 2y plus negative 3y plus negative 12. I'm putting my negatives in parentheses if you've noticed. Now I have like terms, 2y, negative 3y. I get negative 1y plus negative 12. And now it's a one-step problem. I'm going to add, or two-step. I'm going to add 12 to both sides to get rid of that negative 12. Negative 1y comes down, and I get 25. Divide by negative 1 to get y by itself. Y equals 25. Oh, negative 25. Sorry. Divided by negative. Alrighty. Let's take a look at page 2. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to avoid... Well, I do want to do the first one, and then we'll skip letter B just for time's sake and come back if we have a moment. Negative 20 minus all of this. So first step is to simplify this expression. Negative 20 stays the way it is, plus a negative, and remember that's really a negative 1. You don't want to forget that because you need to distribute the negative in. So now that's negative 1. Second step is to distribute. So I have negative 20 plus negative 4x plus negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Combine like terms, negative 20 and 1 is negative 19 plus negative 4x goes to negative 15. Add 19 to both sides. That goes away. Negative 4x comes down and I equals 4. Divide by negative 4. X equals negative 1. Okay? We'll come back to B, like I said, if time allows. These ones down here are more complicated, so I'd rather practice those. For example 3, we have some geometry, just like we've done before. Find the value of x for the given figure. So they're giving us all the sides, and they're telling us the perimeter. So we're going to add 7 plus x plus 2 and set it equal to 29, because that's the total perimeter. Combine our like terms. 7 and 2 is going to give me 9. X plus x is 2x. And now it's just an equation we can go ahead and solve by subtracting 9 and then dividing by 2. X equals 10, and because we're talking about a geometry problem, you want to label it. In this problem, this is also 2x minus 5, this is also x. So my expression to represent perimeter would be 2 times 2x minus 5 plus 2 times x. So that accounts for each of the sides, and I set it equal to 38. So now I want to go ahead, distribute, and simplify. And distribute this 2 into both. 4x plus negative 10 plus 2x equals 38. 4x plus 2x is 6x. And then I'm going to add 10 to both sides. And I'm out of room, so we'll go right here. When I add 10 to both sides, I get 6x equals 48. Divide by 6, divide by 6, x equals, I was subtracting. I have 6x equals 48, divide by 6, divide by 6, x equals 8. I need to label it units. All right, let's take a look. We'll try 1 or 2 down here. The first one, each side is an expression, so I'm going to add the opposite and then distribute. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x, plus negative 5 times negative 7 is 35, plus 24 equals 89. Next, it's still an expression. Just combine your like terms. 35 and 24 give me 59. Copy everything else down. It's going to help you stay organized. To get x by itself, I subtract 59 on both sides. Negative 10x equals 30. Divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10, x equals negative 3. And this problem, add the opposite. So I distribute in a negative 8. So I get 6x plus negative 8 times x is negative 8x, plus negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. And all that's equal to negative 14. Combine my like terms, 6x and negative 8x, which is negative 2x. I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to add 24 to both sides. Negative 2x equals 10. And then I'm going to divide by negative 2 on both sides. X equals negative 5. And again, you can check all of these by substituting your answer back in to make sure it is a solution and it works on both sides. 48. I'm going to change my subtraction signs to add the opposite and then distribute. And I get 48 equals 15 plus 24 plus 6x plus negative 3x. Like terms are 15 and 24, I get 39. And then 6x and negative 3x, I get 3x. I want to get x by itself, so I subtract 39 on both sides of the equal sign. That goes away. I have 3x equals 48 minus 39 is 9. So I divide by 3, x equals 3. Okay, we're going to stop there. This is the exact same thing, only we have decimal work. See me if you'd like some extra problems or review some of these extra ones here. Thanks, guys.